by flames. Now the claim that fire victims are being taken advantage of, the steps the city is taking to protect them.
For an evening of help, hope, and healing.
Borderline benefit, surprise moment as the Thousand Oaks community and country stars come together.
And the mess from the last rain isn't even completely cleaned up yet, as potentially record-breaking storms head our way.
This and more as News at 5 starts now.
News, weather, and sports. Live from Malibu, this is NewsWaves 32.
As if what they faced wasn't enough, the city of Malibu adds protections for fire victims forced out of their homes. Good evening, I'm John Michael Raasch.
And I'm Josie Lionetti. Welcome to the Tuesday night edition of NewsWaves. While they rebuild, claims that fire victims are paying more for rentals prompts action. NewsWaves 32 reporter Araceli Crescencio joins us live from City Hall with the council decision. Araceli?
Thank you, Emily and Josie. The magnitude loss of housing the Woolsey fire caused has given landlords the opportunity to raise prices significantly. This phenomena, better known as price gouging, has made it harder for victims of the fire to return home. But council members want to prevent this from happening again. Last night, City Council unanimously approved an ordinance banning price gouging following natural disasters. Take a look at why they made this decision.
There is an opportunity to double the price for the rental spaces, and unfortunately, I'm so disappointed witnessing that they just somehow get away with this.
Rental prices have surged in Malibu after the Woolsey fire burned 96,000 acres of land in Los Angeles and Ventura counties. In Malibu, 588 structures were burned or damaged in the fire. And for people who lost homes they were renting, moving back to Malibu is a challenge.
Whether they were renting room or condominiums, they are not wealthy people. They are not going to be able to come back to Malibu.
To prevent prices from going up, the city of Malibu is increasing protections against price gouging following natural disasters.
I don't know how to be more clear that we don't want to meddle in the market, but we want to very much so protect the residents that live here, and we don't want price gouging to occur.
Last night, the city of Malibu unanimously approved an ordinance that makes price gouging violations bigger penalties.
Yes. Mayor Wagner?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Although the city of Malibu already had legislation making price gouging illegal, this new ordinance includes a definition of rental price and clarifies that this rule applies to all types of rental housing, regardless of the length of the lease.
Clearly, following a natural disaster, changing the price like that is illegal.
The City Council hopes this new rule will help victims of the Woolsey fire still call Malibu home.
The goal has always been to make the rent affordable so people can live here and call Malibu home.
City Council members encourage residents who noticed landlords raising prices significantly to call City Council at 310-456-2489. Live from Malibu City Hall for NewsWaves 32, I'm Araceli Crescencio.
Thank you, Araceli. There's a new second in command for firefighting and recovery in the city of Malibu.
We have with us this evening Deputy Chief Tony Maroney from the fire department.
I come to the Central Region and Malibu with one goal: to ensure that we have a successful Woolsey fire recovery.
The city introduced Malibu's fire deputy chief at last night's city council meeting. Deputy Chief Maroney is transferring to the Malibu area from the City of Industry in East Los Angeles. He has served on the LA County Fire Department for 33 years, 6 of those as deputy chief. His main focus for Malibu, to head the much-needed fire recovery.
And Malibu will soon welcome a new sheriff's lieutenant who has some ideas for getting to know the community.
I want to work with the community here. I want to work with you guys to make this community better. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start having coffee with cops. And so we're going to have that twice a month because it really is my passion to hear from the community. One, what are things that we could have done better during the Woolsey fire, and how can we prepare?
At last night's City Council meeting, Jennifer Situ touched on the fact that her family was also affected by the fire and that this job in Malibu is not a job but a passion for her. She hopes to work with the people of Malibu to find new ways to tackle problems such as homelessness and traffic. C2 is replacing Lieutenant Jim Royal, who was transferred to a different station. The investigation continues into a PCH crash involving multiple Pepperdine students. A male suspect who is believed to be responsible for starting the crash is currently in custody and is believed to have been driving under the influence. The accident happened at 11:20 p.m. Saturday night just north of Dukes. According to Lost Hills Sheriff's Department, the crash involved 7 members of Pepperdine's men's basketball team and 4 members of a dance ensemble. In total, 14 people were injured. Some were serious, requiring surgery.
You will need your umbrellas and boots again tomorrow. Malibu is not quite done with the rain.
Hannah joins us early with details on the new storm system that is moving into the area and could be record-breaking. Hannah?
Cleanup from last week's storm is not even complete, as another storm is expected to hit beginning tomorrow morning. As you can see, PCH is still full of debris, mud, and flooded areas, which unfortunately might only get worse as this next storm moves in. The first system will hit hardest tomorrow afternoon with over an inch of rain and heavy winds. After that, another system is expected to hit hardest in the late morning on Thursday and is likely to continue through Friday morning. A total of almost 2 inches of rain is expected, prompting mudslide concerns in the Malibu area. As the storm reaches Malibu, there is also a wind advisory in effect beginning tomorrow morning and continuing through Thursday evening. I'll be back with more on the rain, heavy winds, and cooler temperatures. Until then, back to you, Josie, at the desk.
Thank you, Hannah. The new fire debris removal deadline is 3 days away, and the number of applicants keeps growing. The latest update of applicants was announced at last night's City Council meeting. So far, almost 300 have been submitted, with 240 properties approved to be cleared by Cal Recycles. 120 residents submitted paperwork to opt out from the program and clean their properties on their own. The city is still waiting to hear from 80 property owners before Friday's deadline.
And tonight at City Council, the first of several ad hoc committee fire recovery meetings is tonight. The meeting is meant for community members to ask questions about the Woolsey fire and share ideas on how the city can be better prepared for future disasters. The meeting will be hosted by Mayor Pro Temp Karen Fair and City Council member Mikey Pearson. It all starts at City Hall at 6:30 p.m.
California Governor Gavin Newsom gave his first State of State address today. One of his top priorities, scaling back costs of state's high-speed rail project.
The current project, as planned, would cost too much and respectfully take too long. There's been too little oversight and not enough transparency.
Newsom added that another goal is to resist White House policies that do not benefit the state. The governor disagrees with President Trump's border wall policies. Newsom said that we have too many National Guard troops at the Mexican border. He plans to remove a few guards from the border and reassign them to fire prevention teams.
Demonstrators from Westburo Baptist Church protested outside Pepperdine and Thousand Oaks High School. NewsWaves reporter Emily Tenser is here now with how Thousand Oaks and Pepperdine responded to the group's hate speech with messages of peace and solidarity. Emily?
Thank you, John Michael. Yesterday morning, the Westboro Baptist Church was out on the sidewalks near Alumni Park. Now to Pepperdine students, hearing the Westboro Baptist Church talk about the Woolsey fire and the borderline mass shooting felt like taking a knife to a healing wound.
Evil figs, a wretched hive of scum and villainy. God sent the shooter and God sent the fire. These are the many insensitive and triggering phrases the Westboro Baptist Church used to describe Pepperdine University.
It boils my blood to feel that these people are trying to capitalize off of what was such an immense tragedy for Pepperdine and for the Malibu community.
The borderline shooting and Woolsey fire made Thousand Oaks and Malibu targets for the infamous hate group from Kansas. Pepperdine released a statement last week saying Pepperdine stands firmly against the group's messages and practices of hatred and hostility. Yesterday morning, the Westboro Baptist Church first visited Thousand Oaks High School, where they were met by a large group of counter-protesters from Thousand Oaks and Cal State Lutheran. After this, a small-numbered group spread out on the sidewalk by Pepperdine's main entrance, outnumbered by students, DPS, and 9 visiting sheriffs and deputies from Lost Hills Sheriff Station.
We were just here to make sure that everything went peacefully, and in this case today, it definitely did.
Instead of having students physically here protesting, the Student Government Association encouraged Pepperdine students to wear orange instead.
We thought orange stands out. Orange is unique. It's not something that I would wear. I have one orange shirt, and we wanted to stand in unity and in solidarity with our community.
Although there were no issues and no counter-protesting, some students gathered to curiously observe, and others confronted them. Along with wearing orange, Pepperdine Student Government Association were out at 6:30, putting student-signed banners at the university's multiple entrances.
If you look at what the Westboro Baptists say, they say God hates, God hates, God hates, whatever they want to throw at the end of it. So we decided God loves, and that's it. God loves, period.
After the protest, President Andrew K. Benton tweeted, "In a world where hate comes too easily, our students succinctly state the truth. God loves. May God bless them in their convicted courage."
The God Loves banners were on all of these signs across Alumni Park, but have since then been taken down. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Emily. Crews are clearing up land at Civic Center Way and Webbway to make room for a Southern California Edison project. Excavators and water trucks have been flattening and clearing the plot across from the Chili Cook site since yesterday. Construction workers told NewsWaves that Southern California Edison is setting up a station on the empty land to help replace electricity lines around the city.
Calabasas is clamping down on who can lead their city. The City Council will vote tomorrow night on an ordinance that will alleviate any confusion on who can run for office. If passed, only people who currently live and are registered to vote in the city can become council candidates. This comes after some wanted to run for a council seat in November, even though they no longer lived in Calabasas. The council meeting starts at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Staying strong for the victims of the borderline shooting.
The special moments and special guests at last night's benefit concert. One guest got a standing ovation.
Traffic triumph. LA's traffic is bad, but why a new report says there's hope.
Get ready to get doused again. Another big storm is heading our way. Hannah will be back with your full forecast.
Country stars came together at the Thousand Oaks Civic Center last night to raise money for the victims of the borderline shooting. Performers included Tracy Adkins, Jimmy Allen, Cassidy Pope, and Colby Calais, and more. Arnold Schwarzenegger also made a special guest appearance. The Academy of Country Music hosted the concert and donated all proceeds to the families of the victims of the borderline shooting.
The Malibu Foundation has raised over $4.5 million to help with Woolsey fire victims. The chair of the foundation, Joe Flanagan, announced at last night's council meeting that the foundation has used $950,000 of those funds to provide emergency relief for the city. $300,000 have been put toward emotional support and counseling efforts, and $15,000 have been devoted to raising awareness toward climate change. The foundation is planning to create programs that provide victims with legal aid and resources to rebuild.
Well, it's great to hear about some positive things going on in the community, helping people, but not so great news is the rain that we are expecting.
I feel like we've had more rain than sunny.
We just got through it, now it was just sunny, now it's coming back again.
Yeah,
tell us about that.
The rainy season continues for Malibu as another storm is expected to begin tomorrow and continue through the weekend. Today, the tides are between 2 and 3 feet, and tomorrow the tides are expected to be between 1 and 2 feet. However, with the storm on the horizon, heavy rains and winds pose a huge threat for surfers as the waves will become dangerous in these conditions. The health department cautions residents to avoid ocean contact for the next 72 hours. The fire risk is low today and will reach very low risks beginning tomorrow morning. Currently in Malibu, it is a breezy 63 degrees with partially cloudy skies. The wind is at a steady 9 miles per hour and humidity is at 33%. Looking at our neighboring cities, Calabasas is at a similar 63 degrees, Thousand Oaks at 64 degrees, Aurora Hills at 62 degrees, and Santa Monica at a cooler 61 degrees. Starting tomorrow, Malibu will be hit with heavy rains and winds as temperatures continue to drop below normal. Tomorrow will be a high of 55 and a low of 52, with heavy rain beginning in the late morning and reaching its height in the early afternoon. Thursday will be a high of 61 and a low of 48, with heavy rains and winds expected to continue throughout the day. The weekend, the rain is expected to lighten up, but continue through Sunday. Friday will be a high of 59 and a low of 45, and Saturday will be a high of 59 and a low of 43.
So I hope the rain doesn't cause too much problems with mudslides and all that.
Yeah, like it did last time. There was definitely
Absolutely.
some mudslides after last storm. So hopefully this storm will be a little bit safer.
Yeah, I
and
just
we'll
feel
be
like
able
the
to
rain
dry.
keeps coming. It just doesn't stop.
Seriously.
So, yeah.
Thank
well,
you so much. We'll hope for the best.
Appreciate it, yeah.
For real, LA is making history with the announcement of a new fur ban today. The LA City Council passed a new law that will ban the selling, manufacturing, and trading of fur products in the county. The law will take effect in 2021 and make LA the largest city in America to ban fur. It has received applause from many animal rights activists, but business owners in the fur industry are already threatening to sue.
We all know LA has some of the worst traffic in the nation, but a new report says we might be getting better. A new report ranks LA as 5th in the nation with the most traffic. Last year, LA was ranked at number 4. LA traffic is topped by Boston, Washington, D.C., Chicago, and New York. An average LA commuter can expect to spend 128 hours stuck in traffic.
If you didn't stay until the end, you missed it.
Before a road trip, the Pepperdine men's basketball team hits a buzzer beater.
TSA treasures forget bottles of water, the items topping the administration's list of craziest fines.
And we're back with our our sports reporter, Dev, saying we've got some stuff going on in the sports world. I heard something about Pepperdine men's basketball. What happened with them?
Yeah, so Pepperdine men's basketball wins in the final seconds against the University of San Diego.
The first, misses the second. The Waves down by 1. Good look here for Kessler Edwards on the glass, and that could be the winner. Oh, Kessler, he's done it.
Freshman Kessler Edwards' shot propels the Waves to a 70-67 win over USD. USD's three-pointer with 19 seconds left gave the Toreros a 3-point lead. The next possession, the Waves sink 2 of 5 free throws. Sophomore Jade Smith grabs the rebound each time, leading to Edwards' shot. The win secures the Waves' first season sweep of USD since 2016. The Waves now stand at 15-16 for the year and will play their next 3 games on the road. And Pepperdine women's basketball shocks Santa Clara at the buzzer. Junior Barbara Stiggins' bucket completes the Waves' 11-point fourth quarter comeback. The senior Yasmin Robinson Bekote scores 31 and junior Diza Battle adds a career-high 21 points. The win is Waves' 4th consecutive WCC victory and improves their record to 15-8 overall and 9-4 in the WCC conference play. The Waves will play tonight at home at 6 p.m. against Cal State LA. Minnesota Timberwolves outpower the Los Angeles Lakers and Los Angeles Clippers and win 130-120. It was the 6th and final game on the road for the LA Clippers on Sunday. The Clippers' reserve guard Lou Williams was dropping remarkable three-pointers as he scored career-high 45 points, but for a lost cause. Clippers were losing 55-61 at halftime after a phenomenal basket by Derrick Rose. The Clippers tried to come back from the 23-point deficit, but ended up losing by 10 points. Moving on to the game of champions, Manchester United lose 2-0 to Paris Saint-Germain in the first leg of round of 16 today in Champions League. PSG won against Manchester United at Old Trafford today, and the score was 2-0. PSG drew the first blood in the second half when Kimpembe volleyed the ball inside the net after a corner kick by Di Maria. Mbappe scored the second goal after 4 minutes after Kimpembe scored. Paul Pogba received 2 yellow cards in the game, which led to him being sent off in the 89th minute. The next leg of this match will be played in Parc des Princes on 6th March.
Thank you so much, Dave, for the sports update. We definitely needed that. Yeah. And ousted from the Oscars, the awards television audiences won't see this year.
She's known for her offbeat style, but why many are saying Katy Perry's fashion design crossed the line.
From the classroom to City Hall, the extravaganza celebrating young local artists in today's Around the Town Tuesday.
Welcome to NewsWaves. I'm Jenna Gartner, and this is Around the Town Tuesdays, where I show you what's new in Malibu. Today we'll be getting a special look at the enthusiasm that a student art reception brought to student artists in the local community. Take a look at what they created. Students were filled with excitement this Friday as they hurried to find their art displayed on more than a refrigerator. Malibu students from kindergarten through high school submitted artwork to be framed and displayed in Malibu's 2019 student art exhibit. Last Friday, Malibu transformed the City Hall into a museum, complete with refreshments, live poetry readings from Malibu High students, and walls covered in art. Ginger Che, an art teacher at Sycamore School, encouraged her students to take advantage of this opportunity to show their work.
It's not about, well, I don't know how to make straight lines. No, you don't have to make straight lines. It's passion. It's to have passion in everything you do, and then life becomes art. So I want them to know that.
Ginger wanted everyone to see the beauty of the imagination through the art of her students. In their projects, Ginger had her students paint their homes from memory and focused on technique through shading. Her son and daughter, True and Love Che Howell, were proud to display their own work and gave me the rundown on how their art was made.
I had made like a couple sketches with pencil, and then I did one with pen, and then I used a light tracing board to make this final one. I feel really good about it. It's one of my favorite drawings that I've done.
I put acrylic paint and water in a mist bottle, and I sprayed it on a paper with a cutout stencil that I made. It's called Summer and Winter.
Be sure to stop by and support these young artists before the exhibit closes on March 8th. So I just loved being there and seeing how excited these kids got over being able to display their art in like a public place where people could come see it.
Totally.
And it's just so great for them to learn about it too.
My favorite two types of art, Impressionism and art done by kindergartners.
There you go.
Best two genres.
One of the favorite ones. And seeing them talk about it is even better.
So cute. They're so enthusiastic and they love it. Thank you so much.
Of course.
All right, well now in entertainment news, a little bit different from kids' art. We have 21 Savage in the news, who's been his update on what's going on with him and this whole ice problem.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this last Tuesday, but now we have updates on the story. Rapper 21 Savage is set to be released from ICE custody tomorrow morning. According to his attorney, 21 Savage was granted a release on bond today after being held by immigration officials for 9 days. His attorneys have been working with ICE to clarify his legal standing and show his contributions to the United States. Immigration officials arrested the British-born rapper last week for overstaying his visa. According to his lawyer, 21 Savage applied for a visa in 2017 after he learned he was in the country illegally. And 4 Oscar categories will be omitted from the live broadcast on February 24th. In an attempt to shorten the ceremony to 3 hours, Academy President John Bailey says they will be awarding Oscars for Best Cinematography, Film Editing, Live Action Short, and Makeup and Hairstyling during commercial breaks. This is a break in tradition for the Oscars, but the Academy assures that the achievements of those in these categories will still be honored. And Katy Perry is facing backlash for shoes released as a part of her clothing line that appear to resemble blackface. The shoes feature a face that looks very similar to the classic blackface makeup. Dillard's and Walmart have since removed the shoes from their websites. Katy Perry and her brand management group say they never intended to inflict any pain.
Thank you so much, Annabelle.
Yes, thank you. Well, from a bag of snakes to a giant pair of scissors, these are just some of the things TSA agents have had to confiscate from some not-so-sneaky travelers. The TSA just released pictures of its weirdest finds in 2018. The top 5 items include dynamite, a tuxedo, decorated grenades, a giant pair of scissors, and an underwater torpedo, and to top the list, a Freddy Krueger glove.
That will do it for us this evening.
Have a great night. We'll be right back on Thursday.